Next comes, just do what you can, right? Just do whatever you can. We all have limitations. Everybody starts somewhere. Some of you might come from a middle class or lower middle class. Some of your parents provided much better than the others. Everybody has limitations. We can't keep on giving excuses that we are not where we are in life because our parents didn't do so, society doesn't do so. I know a lot of people, you go ask them why you are the way you are, they would be like, coronavirus is a reason, Narendra Modi is a reason, my teacher is a reason, my parents did, my father used to hit me when I was a child. Everybody around them is reason, but he's a good guy. He'd be like, I'm absolutely perfect. Life was just unfair to me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Failure is such an integral part of life, but yet we are not told how to handle failures. So own your failures. It's very, very important. Just do what you can. I'll share a personal story with you. When I was a student here, I used to come in the bike, right? I used to come to the college in the bike. When I used to see these children of rich people, like rich businessmen, actors, their children, they'd pull off in a 20 lakh or a 50 lakh car sometimes. And I used to long for it because I'm such a car guy. Guys understand the relationship between a guy and a car or a bike. That's a unique bond a guy develops with these beautiful machines, right? I used to long for it. I just wanted to come to college for one day in a car, just come to college, attend the classes, go somewhere out after the college is over and just be done with it. It never happened. Never happened. I used to long for it. Whenever I saw it, I used to long for it. Just a single day, but it never happened and I was totally fine with it. Today, while I was driving back here, and I only understood that the beauty of not coming from a lower middle class background is when I gifted my mother her favorite sedan. That is when I understood that. If my parents have ever handed me a keys of a BMW, I would have never known its worth. So today, whatever you feel as a disadvantage could become your advantage someday. This is a very dangerous mindset we have today in society, especially amongst youngsters. Not just youngsters, with anyone in general. People think that you need to be ancestrally wealthy. Your parents should have a lot of money in order for you to become an entrepreneur. That is not the case. Money is not the deciding criteria for business. Money will only help you start a business. Money will only help you set up a business, but it is your skills and ability as an entrepreneur that will determine the success of a business. Any unskilled person with the money can start business, but it takes two skills and ability to grow your business. That's important. Look at all the people that have won. Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, APJ Abdul Kalam, A.R. Rahman. Where have they come from? Look at their backgrounds. They come from nothing. But today they are true giants. We love them. But look at how we think that you need to be born in a rich family in order to be successful. Look at APJ and Rahman sir, and they don't come from a lot of things, right? Rajinikanth, to this day we have been telling he was a conductor. For 50 years we have been saying that. Recently, you guys know Gopi and Sudhakar, right? Parida Bangal. They're launching their own film. They got rejected by a TV channel, and now they're launching their own film. And look at the comment section. This is true success. We always celebrate people who come from nothing. When we see a rich person, a rich kid, we immediately think, what problem does he have in life? No, they have their own pressure. They're constantly being compared. They constantly have big shoes to fill in, right? That's what happens with, back then I used to long for it as well. This guy has a super bike, that guy has a BMW, and I used to long for it. I felt life is unfair to me. It's not. When I go meet my friends who were with me back in the college, now when I go meet them, their parents start comparing themselves. Like, this guy had nothing, he's doing so and so, what are you doing? That's a horrible place to be in. So whatever limitations that we have, but that we think we have today, is actually a blessing in disguise. So just do what you can. You might have a normal cell phone. You might have a normal laptop. Whatever your parents have provided you with, just use it. Just use it. Just use it to do whatever that you can. That's what I did, because by the time I wanted to graduate out of BCom, I just wanted to have 1 lakh with me. Right? Because I can't, once I'm done with BCom, I don't want to go out and ask money for anyone or ask money from a bank, get a loan from a financial institution. I just wanted to have my money so that I don't have to be dependent on anyone to start my business, right? That's why I started doing drop shipping. That's why I started importing and selling things over here. And by the time I graduated, I had around 1 lakh and 14,000 or something. But I didn't use it for my business. I took up a course in film direction. My second startup came much later on, which was a huge failure, to a point where I had to file cases in Economics Offense Wing and High Court against the people who were involved. The third startup that I did was a YouTube channel. I launched it, did terrible mistakes with the channel. I launched it in English. It was a huge mistake. And then I discontinued it after 5-6 months. ChairsCarté was my 4th, INDE was my 5th, and this is a 7-year journey. And let me tell you something, if you start now, do whatever you can and do it now. If you start now, by the time you become 25, most people who don't start now, right, they can't match you. They can't come up to the level of skills you have, level of money you have, they simply can't match you. You guys will become unbeatable. If you start at 18, by the time you're 25, because most people start their careers at 22, 23. They just have 2 years of experience, whereas you would have 7. That's what matters. If you see, we always troll the boomers generation, but if you see most of them, they started their careers very early, which gave them an unfair advantage. You people are extremely, extremely smart compared to the 90s kids. 2K kids are extremely smart. On a professional level, it's always the 2K kids that I prefer. You know why? Because you guys talk about cryptocurrency. You guys talk about what's the next big startup, what's the next big tech startup, artificial intelligence. On a professional level, I prefer the 2K kids over the 90s kids. Personal level, I might prefer the 90s kids because I feel you guys are a little bit arrogant and hot-headed, but largely on a professional level, I respect you guys. You have the humility to sit down and listen. I'm a stranger, I'm a complete stranger, but you have the humility to sit down and listen. Most of you are looking at me. Most of you, I wasn't expecting this. I thought half of you would be talking with each other or looking at your phone, but most of you are listening. That's incredible. 90s kids wouldn't have done that. They would have been great friends, but professional level, no. When I wanted to talk about business, there was not a single friend who showed up. Go to cinema, tens of friends would come. Go to a restaurant, tens of friends would come. Startup pati peslanda orthano varamata. Nobody would come, nobody would show up. So that is why it's very important to do what you can, whatever that you can. We all have limitations, right? So please understand that.